And now, Lifestyles Unlimited presents the Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Over the next hour, we unfold your map to financial freedom. You'll learn how to retire through investing in single-family and multifamily real estate. You'll learn how to create cash flow and build wealth so you can have the time and money to live the lifestyle you want.
Welcome to the show. My name is Al Gordon, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Because on today's show, it's another edition of Tell Al Tuesday, and I've asked Peggy and Leo to come back on the show. Ironically, now this caught me off guard just before we went on the air. I thought I had spoken to them last year, but when I checked my calendar, I found out it's been a whole 2 years since I've had them on the radio show, and I know there's a lot that's gone on in their lives, and there's a lot that they need to share with us because we need to get caught up. I mean, it's been 2 years since we talked to Peggy and Leo, and here's what we found out last time. First of all, they're just a hoot to be around. They really are. They're just fun people to be around. Here's another thing we found out. They are absolutely real estate retired. They got themselves real estate retired by becoming members of Lifestyles Unlimited back in 2014. Now, they didn't just join and become members and poof, they were retired. They had to work at it. And they did. They worked at it, and they achieved financial freedom. They achieved retirement in this lifetime, and they are living a retired lifestyle. They're really having a great time doing it. Now, one of the other things that they did, we kind of touched on it 2 years ago, but I didn't go into great detail about it, but I think I might on today's show, is their roles as ambassadors to Lifestyles Unlimited. Yeah, they are serving as ambassadors as part of the Lifestyles Unlimited community. We're going to get into what that is because you need to understand that there's a whole group of members out there that are focused on you. Yeah, you not, and me too. I was going to say, and not me, but technically there are members that are focused on me. I've got an ambassador that helps me out. So it's all part of the culture. It's all part of being a member of Lifestyles Unlimited. It's all a part of getting yourself to a place of retirement in 5 years or less. And we're going to get into the nitty gritty with Peggy and Leo right now because I'm going to bring them onto the show. You're going to find out how much fun they are. I guarantee you're going to find out within the first 30 seconds that they're a blast. Peggy and Leo, welcome to the show. What kind of wisdom do you all have for us today?
Okay, Al, I just wanted to thank you for inviting us to be on your call. We're very honored, so we appreciate it.
Well, that was humble, guys. I appreciate that, but I was looking for funny. What happened?
Yeah, we got to mix it in as time goes on.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Comedian, she just doesn't know it yet.
Okay, I'm fair with that. Okay, see, guys, I told you they're a hoot, right? I mean, we're just getting started here. You're going to find out this is going to be a comedy show before we're done. But there's something serious we do have to talk about. You guys are absolutely real estate retired. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, that is a fair statement, and we're thrilled.
How long did it take you guys to achieve that? Once you became members in 2014, was it like a 2-year time frame, a 5-year time frame? What did it take?
It was about 2.5 years, and I was looking at our expenses, and I thought, my gosh, this income is paying for all of this. So we were just so excited about that. So we just keep on, growing, and we just thank Dale Walmsley and Lifestyles for that. We couldn't have done it without them.
And we're talking about distributions quarterly.
Yeah. Money coming in that you're not actually working for, right, Leo?
Right. All that refinancing, sales or whatever, that all goes back into the pot and keep growing your principal, and that's the name of the game.
And that just translates into more cash flow for you guys, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We keep a reserve just like for the unusual event of COVID because a lot of the leads slowed down on their distributions a whole lot. But we had a reserve just to make sure, and then when things got back going, we're back up humming, and I'm just like, wow, man. Before COVID, I was actually a little concerned about things because I'd never been through anything like that. And anyways, I'll tell you what, the abundance mentality of everybody talking about what they're doing and helping their residents and tenants, keeping everybody going and making sure everybody is fed and medically taken care of at our properties. And I was just like, wow, man, this is awesome, man. What a great group. But I don't know. I'm impressed with Lifestyles.
Yeah, you guys are in a bunch of apartment deals. I mean, you've been in as many as what, like 58 of them or 54? I don't even remember the number. What is the number?
So it is 54. We've sold about 14 of them, so we're down to about 40. And we just keep on looking for deals if the numbers make sense and we're comfortable with the lead. And the thing about Lifestyles, you can check with their mentors and see if they're communicating with them as they find a new deal, and communicating with the mentors regularly to ask them questions, and then talking to their operations consultants, which are the ones that help them operate the apartment communities. We check with both of them before we get into a deal and make sure that lead's talking to them. And then another neat thing about Lifestyles is that we know a bunch of passives, and if that's a deal that the lead's looking at, that they've done a deal prior to that, then we'll ask the passives for a reference on that lead. So that's a really good thing, that we can do with Lifestyles.
So your biggest job as a passive investor is to communicate with lead investors and to communicate with your fellow passives. I mean, that's really your responsibility, right?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And analyze the offerings that come to you, correct?
Absolutely. That's very thoroughly.
Why become ambassadors for Lifestyles Unlimited? So Peggy and Leo, why?
Well, Al, we were at a meeting, and I remember Terry, who's an ops consultant, she said, y'all are going to be ambassadors, and we had no idea what she was talking about. And then a year later came out the email asking people if they wanted to be ambassadors. And we saw the email and we thought, well, we really don't want to work. I mean, we've retired from corporate and we're passive investors. Well, Terry called us and she said, no, you just need to keep doing what you're doing. So pretty much bottom line, she was talking about networking, talking to other people. And we've been ambassadors. I think they started the program in 2018. And we have had so much fun with it. If once you sign up, for a membership, then you can go in and you go into what we call the portal, and then there's a drop-down menu and it says ambassadors. And so you can click on that and you can type in the state you're looking for. So let's say that you're a new member, you joined in Florida, then you would type in Florida on that drop-down menu and it would show you the ambassadors' names and their emails. So we're in Texas, and so we do get emails from people that have joined and they have some questions. And so we answer their emails, do the best that we can to answer their questions. And then we also talk at the 2-day, and the 2-day is where you go for a couple of days and you learn about single family and multifamily from Lifestyles. It's about 16 hours of awesome training, and we're some of the speakers at the 2-day. So we just talk about our journey and what we've invested in, and our successes on, being members of Lifestyles. And we do that. And then what we do once a month is we have a meetup, and the meetup, there's usually about 60 or 70 people that go to the meetup, and we all just stand around and we talk, and you can order food from the menu. You can have a cocktail if you want. It's very casual. It's a big place. It holds a lot of people. So we do host the meetups. And then during COVID, we had a lot of virtual meetups. And, passives are always looking for leads to get into apartment deals, and leads are always looking for passives to invest in their deals. And so even virtually on calls, we met a few people that we ended up getting into their deals as passives. And so that was a whole lot of fun. And then we just help get people together, like let's say somebody's new. They come to what we call our road trips, and that's where a lead talks about their property. And then we go out and we look at the apartment that they're invested in, and they talk about their challenges, their victories. We see, feel, and touch the property. But when we're at meetings like this, it's an opportunity to network with other people because the lead investors line up against the walls in our main room at our office, and you go and you shake their hand and get their card, and then you sign up to be on their list. So we help the new people just kind of navigate around, just walking through the room and meeting other people, and we introduce them to other people. So really the idea of us is just getting people together and answering questions and being an encouragement to others. And we absolutely love it, and we've met just some wonderful people nationwide, because it doesn't really matter what state you're an ambassador in, you can still help people all over the nation.
So, Leo, were you on board for this? Because it kind of sounded like you got voluntold to do it.
Well, I tell you what, first thing I told Terry Gilbert is I said, we're not interested in working. You know, and I mean, that's the reason why we're in lifestyles. And she said, no, you don't have to do anything. I thought, well, what do we do? And she said, you just keep talking like you're doing with all the members. And I thought, well, hell, we can do that anyway. We're going to do it anyway because we're always visiting, finding out what's going on. And then she gave us a little name tag and said, if we don't mind, sharing our story with a few people on occasion. But other than that, I thought, well, hell, we're going to be doing it anyway, so might as well call us an ambassador and make us look important.
There you go. Get a T-shirt at Expo, and you're good to go, right?
I've got about 4 or 5 of them.
You wear them proudly, don't you?
I do, absolutely. I stick my chest out and try to suck my stomach in and make the most of it.
Oh, so you're reimagining your body at the age of 21.
You got it. My mind's there. I might as well try to make my body contort to it as best I can.
I'm cool with that. I'm kind of in your lane. I think you might have a year or two on me, Leo, but I'm not too far behind you in that physicality lane. See, I told everybody you guys were a hoot. I mean, you guys are just fun to be around. I remember running into you guys. You came down to San Antonio. We were opening back up. COVID was kind of in the rearview mirror as far as Texas was concerned. The rest of the country wasn't so sure about it, but we in Texas were done with it. And you guys came down to San Antonio to attend a case study event. And after the case study, we went to a local restaurant and bar where we do our after meetup. And I remember sitting down with you guys, and I didn't even know who you guys were because I'd never physically met you before, even though I'd spoken to you on the radio. And we just sat down and we just struck up a really cool conversation. I don't even remember what we talked about. I think we just introduced ourselves. And the next thing I know, we're talking for like 45 minutes to an hour. I think I was kind of hogging you guys.
No, Al, I think we were hogging you from everybody else. I think that was the true story. But they're a lot of fun, too.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. We're going to commercial break, and I want to talk to you guys during the break and get some of that insider information. And when we come back from the break, maybe we'll share it with our guests. Stick around.
Got questions? Call Lifestyles Unlimited at 855-497-4335. The Real Estate Investor Radio Show continues next.
Want to continue the conversation inside the community? Follow Lifestyles Unlimited on Facebook. Stay up to date on upcoming events, market trends, member stories, featured podcasts, real estate wisdom, and more. You can even join us a couple of times a month as we go live with our case study events right on Facebook from the comfort of your home. Get online and get in the know. Turn listening on the radio into participating in the community. Like and follow Lifestyles Unlimited on Facebook today.
Creating the lifestyle you've always wanted. You're hearing Lifestyles Unlimited's Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Welcome back to the second half of the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. My name is Al Gordon. I'm joined by Peggy and Leo, and together we're working on your financial freedom. And that insider information that we were talking about at the break, we were talking about insider information. Yeah, insider information. Yeah, and that's the hair on the back of your neck is sticking up, isn't it? Because you, in your mind, you know that insider information is illegal, right? It is a no-go. You don't want to get anywhere near that because bad things happen to people that mess around with that sort of stuff, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, Peggy, Leo, and myself, we were sharing insider information. But here's the thing. We're all members of Lifestyles Unlimited. The information that we were sharing with each other is completely legal. And more so, the SEC doesn't really care what we talk about with regards to what real estate investments are, because they are treated completely different than that world that maybe you're still in, the world that Peggy and Leo left behind. So let's get into that aspect of your story, guys. I mean, I know that you did everything you were supposed to do. You went to school, you got good grades, you got into college, you got into corporate America, you worked, traded time for money, built up a retirement nest egg. You got to a certain point in your life and you just went, oh, this ain't working. So when you made that realization that it wasn't working, what did that feel like?
Right up top of my head is that I hated that, like, on the weekend, Thursday got around, and I was anticipating the weekend and how much fun it's going to be. And Saturday came around, and Sunday I was like, oh, no, here we go. Monday morning, here we go. Quoting. We got to talk about quotas again. And, oh, God, it was just constant merry-go-round of sales. And after you met the quota up, then you get another increase. It's always asking for something that's virtually impossible. And so, anyways, you get it made and you get it done. But, boy, it's just stressful, and I don't think stress is good for our lives in particular. And along with being in the rush hour traffic and fighting all that, and here, the hardest thing we have to do is, pick out where we're going to go on vacation, and it's just really, it's just totally different. It sure is nice.
I was so happy just not to fight with traffic, report to a boss. I'm not a morning person, so it was hard getting up every morning. I was staying late at work. I was staying really late on Friday nights, which is crazy, just to catch up from that week. And it just, we do what we want to do. We get up when we want to get up. We work out of our home for the most part, unless we're at a fun meeting networking, because it's a really fun group to network with. It was weird my last day at work, because I'd been at this one bank for about 17 years, but I got over that pretty quickly. So it's a great feeling. Plus, we know, that we're taken care of during retirement because our deals are working for us. There's other people out there just managing the apartments, acquiring the apartments, managing the people, and we're getting passive income, passive checks. And when we go in for a surgery or we're sick for a while or whatever happens, we're on vacation, the work keeps going on, and it's nothing that we're doing. And then the checks keep on coming. So it's really a great feeling. And then when we refi, we love refis, because when we refi, we get some or sometimes all of our money back. We're still in that deal. It's a non-taxable event when we refi because the loan's involved. And then we're still in that deal, and then we take the money that we got out of the deal and we go invest in another deal, and then it becomes exponential growth. That's how we went from owning no apartments to that we've invested in 54 apartment buildings. So we're thrilled, and we love how Lifestyles mentors and trains its members. We used to, like most people, dread Sunday nights and dread going into work on Monday. And then we love Friday nights because the weekend had arrived. And now I don't see any difference in a Sunday night versus a Friday night. It's kind of weird, but it's a wonderful feeling.
So I'm going to check with my producer, Rick, and see if we did indeed share insider information. And Rick is in my headphones right now telling me, yep, that's the insider information you guys shared. So is the SEC at your front door right now, guys?
No.
I have yet to see anybody with a badge like that.
But if we had been talking this way with regards to companies that are traded within our stock portfolios, would we be treated a little differently, you think?
Oh, boy. I tell you, Al, it was, get this, Peggy, was working at this big bank in Dallas, and it was to where I had this deal. We owned this stock, and we wanted to sell some option, puts and calls on it. Well, they had a deal where I had to write this incredibly long story about what we were doing and how we were going to do it, and then they had the audacity to never even get back with me. And I said, "What is the deal with these people, Peggy?" And she goes, "Oh, they're just paranoid about insider information." And I thought, hell, we don't, what, it just killed me. And so you just have to you're just like, wow, I just can't believe this. You're just cut off. It's another regulation, it seems like. So I just, they really, watch over it, from all the fraud and stuff going on, so.
Yeah, everybody's bad behavior in the past is affecting them today. Is it not?
Yes, that's exactly the way it is. And so there are a few bad boys that make it, bad for the rest of us. So anyways, and really what we were doing is nothing. There wasn't even inside information. It was just I thought, golly, geez. So anyways, hey, that's the world where the world turns, and so you just live with it. That at least on that side of the world of stocks and stuff. And here, there is no inside information. Everybody's on their own. So, it's a different animal that we deal with here. One time we were going down to Austin, and Peggy and I all we did was talk about these properties that we were looking to invest in. I told Peggy, I said, we need to have more of a balanced conversation, it seems like, because all we did is talk about real estate here, and it's not for a good balanced life. And she said, Leo, you want to make money in some of these things coming up here? And I said, yeah, I want to. And she says, well, let's just keep talking. And I said, all right, let's just keep talking. And we just kept going. I don't know what it is. It's that greed effect or something. But, but we just, we live it, eat it, smell it, drink it, and so, you created a monster has been created with Peggy because she was the timid one. I was the monster, but now she's the monster. And I'm like, maybe we're looking for balance, but hey, you know what? It's all right. I love her, and we had balance together doing stocks, or not stocks, but real estate. And so it's a hoot.
Wow. I didn't expect you to tell us that real estate has actually been integrated into your marriage, but man, that's exactly what you said. That's what he said, right, Peggy?
He did, and he's a monster too. It's not just me, we both are. But you know what, Al? We capitalize on each other's skill sets, and we appreciate each other. And I think it's more powerful if you're married and if you have a partner. It's more powerful if you can capitalize on each other's skill sets. You just get more, bang for the buck that way.
So who's the research monster? I mean, who digs into the prospectuses? Who digs into the financials of these deals? Is it Peggy? Is it Leo?
We both do.
Okay.
We both do. Now, at first, she was a little slower at it. She's great in particular about picking out personalities and analyzing people, and she's great with numbers, though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, she's always been more towards the accounting side of life than anything, and great with numbers. But it's like this. It's like how do we triple our money or quadruple our money when the property's only doubled? And so you go back over it and you get, the net operating income and divided by the cap rate, and you come up with a valuation, and the properties are levered, and you keep doing it. And she goes, yeah, and that's exactly, now she's the one that's, she's telling me about it, and she's got it down, and she just says she understands it totally, and she just keeps picking up on things that I miss out on, a lot of detail, and she's great with it. Well, I'm telling you, she's a great partner to have. I'll tell you that. Don't ever discount your partner, and what they might know, or you think they don't know, because you might be surprised.
She's always reading the paper and seeing what companies are coming and, how many employees they have and what type of industry they're in. And he actually helps leads with that. Like he'll send them an email with a newspaper article if we're invested in a deal that's close to where some big company's coming in. So Leo just eats that stuff up. So it really, it helps a lot of people, I think. The leads are really appreciative of that.
Do you guys have a legacy plan?
Well, we do, but we don't really have kids, okay? So, but we both have family, and we have we have nieces and nephews, and they have kids. So it's complicated, but we do, want to, have a plan where some people can enjoy what we've earned by being trained by Lifestyles in investing.
Yeah, I think it's very important to understand what's going to happen to your assets once you're not here anymore to enjoy them, because after all, we can't take them with us, can we?
That's right.
No, you cannot. Yeah. Fortunately for myself, is a deal, and is to where I remember my father and uncle had invested some in rental properties, and anyways, they would get something they'd held quite a long time, and they would find something that they really liked, and they would trade up into it. And I'd say, well, you sold it back then. They go, no, we traded it. They're always explaining that and deferring capital gains. And then what happened is later on in life, my father and uncle, they'd split up, and so our family was separated, and we, if it was equitable, but they had it to where we ended up doing it to where after my mother had passed away and my father passed, then it was, my sisters and I took it over, and the capital gain from the original amount of money that was originally invested by my father and mother years ago, it's just unbelievable. I was like, wow, man, I said, that's a pretty smart move right here. But like what we're doing is with it passively, we always look for good deals, and maybe it's been a little slower this year, but we found 4 or 5 deals that we think are going to be good investments. And what happens is because we were talking to the accountant, and in the past we really haven't paid any taxes in so many years. It's just amazing. And so our accountant told us, he says, well, your loss carry forward is kind of getting shrinking down here. And so he said, you look for good deals, and if you get into them, great. And if you don't, then, you might have to pay some tax coming up. And so anyways, we keep this loss carry forward because when you invest in a property as a passive investor, there's excess, there's capital investment that for expenditures on fixing up properties, the way we buy them and the way the Lifestyles has it mapped out. We're buying undervalued properties that are B and C so we can survive during the hard times. The A-class guys kind of have a harder time where we can survive with the rental, the income, the residents don't have to pay as much with our properties, and they get just as good a deal. But it just turns out that we keep. It gives us a loss. It's a paper loss, is what it is, and it just keeps carrying forward. And so I don't think we're going to have to pay taxes this next year at the rate things are going. We've found enough deals that I think we're going to be in good shape as long as we don't sell one of these monster capital gains, which we've got a number of them. And I still think we're going to be all right. So but that's one way that I look at it, is carrying it forward and using the tax man's money. So that's just one thing.
We're about at the end of the show, and I was going to ask you another question, but I'm just going to have to save it for the next time we have you on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Peggy and Leo, I want to thank you so much for being guests on today's show. I know that the listeners to the show have learned a lot from you. And for those of you listening to the show, if you want to do what Peggy and Leo are doing, if you want to do what I'm doing, if you want to do what the 100,000 members of Lifestyles Unlimited are doing, go to lifestylesunlimited.com, sign up for a free workshop, and let's get you going.
The information and opinions you hear on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show are those of the host, guests, and callers. The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.